and welcome to my first episode of Late Night Sewing. This is Amory's workshop, and I am visiting the Rui resort in Ocherius, and to meet my nephew who's coming to town and his family, and meet my little nephewettes. And so I had a wonderful shrimp scampi last night it was exquisite. Unfortunately, I ate rather late and now I'm awake. So I thought, since I was awake, let me work on something that I brought with me until I get sleepy. Now, this is the Noelle dress by Veronica Tucker. You can follow her on Instagram, Veronica Tucker the Label, at Veronica Tucker the Label. Also, you can look her Veronica Tucker Patterns. This is a free pattern, guys. You can you don't need to download a PDF, but it is beautiful. I will try and insert a picture. I don't know if I can do that in this thing, but the online picture is so beautiful and carefree, and I thought at this resort that this would be something lovely to make. It consists of 4 rectangles, 2 for the sleeves, 2 for the body, and she gives you the measurements for you to make it freehand, so you don't have to panic. You can just go and download this. It's only a few pages, maybe 5 or 6 pages, and you're going to cut out 1 rectangle that is the first is the circumference of your hip measurement, and the length that you've decided to make it. I've decided to make mine a maxi. I want it to dust near the floor, so for me that's 50 inches. I'm not that far from the from the floor. And I'm going to use my hip measurement, which is like 48, and that's what I'm going to make the width of the front piece. Now, you have to make sure for your sleeves that the cutouts match. Now, she gives you a definite measurement for the sleeve. The sleeve, she wants you to cut out a rectangle that is 60 centimeters wide and 55 centimeters down, and it gives a lovely bell shape. Now here, this is an up close of the edges on the corners. It's going to be 14 centimeters down and 8 centimeters across, and then you're going to use your French curve, or you're going to eyeball it to make the curve for your underarm. That's where they're going to attach. That's where the armholes are going to attach. They have to match, guys. So the little rectangle cutouts that you're going to make on your front and back piece are going to be the same things that are going to be on your sleeves. So I'm going to cut mine out now, and we'll see how it goes. Now guys, I realized when I started to make mine that I needed to leave space at the top for the casing on the length of my maxi. And so I left 1.5 inches at the top to turn under where I'm gonna run my elastic through. And I also added 1.5 to my, to the bottom where I'm gonna run my hem. So that'll give me, it gave me a 53-inch length rather than 50-inch length. So keep that in mind. Remember your sleeves and your front and back panel are gonna line up, but you're gonna need, the casing is built into the top, so you might need to add that extra inches at the bottom so that it all works for your body. So, okay, so this is my first rectangle, and I'm gonna cut out another one. You know, the reason why I did that tearing of my fabric at the very beginning is because it's an accurate rectangle. I wanted to make sure that the grain lines were matching, because remember, it was cut at the fabric store, so it's not necessarily true perpendicular. But if I pull along the grain lines, I should get a more accurate measure on my pattern, on my dress pieces. So now I have my 4 rectangles. I've got one rectangle. This is 55 centimeters by 60 centimeters. Let me see what that turns out to be. Let me do the conversion for you. All right, so 55 centimeters is about 21 3/8 of an inch, and 60 centimeters is 23 5/8. Okay, so that kind of gives you an idea. So this is the sleeve. I have not cut the rectangles in them yet. I will in front of you. All right, so now if you remember that I'm going to be making a cutout 14 centimeters down, 8 centimeters across, but you have to allow for that curve for your underarm. So use a French curve, but since I'm away from home, I'm gonna wing it. We'll see. Before I go to bed, I've been blessed with this piece of leftover fabric. I'm thinking pockets. I'm gonna borrow this pocket off of another Veronica Tucker design that I'm working on and put it on this dress, on the Noelle dress. Now it's the next day, and I know what you're thinking. With all of this, what are you doing inside? Well, I love beach as well as the next person, but sometimes I need a little break, especially if I get tired. So I'm gonna finish up this Noelle dress, and then I'm gonna run the elastic casing through when I'm on the beach soaking in the sand. So come along with me as I put this dress together. I tried to finagle the hotel out of one of their circular tables and chair because I have this huge veranda, but no word so far. So I'm ready to get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and be about my business. Alrighty. That's for my ASMR people. This is really quite a quick sew. I'm excited to see how it'll turn out. I packed some thin elastic with me. Oh. I found my scissors. I had put them inside of my toiletry bag, which is a large thing that hooks around the it hooks around the door, on the door. So I thought I put it in a place where it would be protected and not pierce anything, so there'd be no nasty surprises. So that is what happened. So I actually have my scissors with me. I might not go into town since I've already been to Ping's and I've already been to Diablo's. Unless I get a little bored tomorrow, if I get through too many of my projects, I might take another trip in there. So let me go ahead and put my bobbin in, and it's time to parler le français. Before I sew the sides, I am going to make a little notch where I'm going to add my pockets, because remember, this pattern does not give you pockets, but you can figure out where your pockets should land. It's very personal to every person. I guess that's what personal means, right? So let me go ahead and I'm going to put the notches in to know where to put I'm going to sew my pocket pieces in place first, and then I'm going to French seam the sides. All right. Refreshment break. Back to work. Okay, so I've stitched it on my initial French seams. I've stitched my my two pieces, wrong sides facing each other. I'm going to trim along the edge, turn this inside out, press it, and do one final stitch. And it will enclose all these little feathery ends inside the seam. Makes my clothes last longer, and I just like the finish on the inside. Now this is a new pocket shape for me. I'll let you know how it works. Okay, so now that I've French seamed, I've enclosed all my seams. See, now you don't see them on the right side. I'm gonna go ahead and press the hem, and I think I'm gonna do the hem at the bottom first. I cannot do the casing at the top until I attach the sleeve, so I'll show you how to make the sleeves. Okay, so this is what the front and back together look like so far. You can see where the armholes are. So what's left to do is the sleeves, and to make a casing once the sleeves are attached. So here are the sleeves. I am going to French seam them together. So I'm going to stitch this side to the other side of the sleeve with the wrong sides facing. Okay, so I sewed my sleeve pieces together, wrong sides touching. I'm going to trim this edge, turn it inside out, press it, and stitch it one more time. Okay, now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead and do the same technique in that I'm going to go ahead and do the hem now while I can handle it. Now, this case, it's a casing, so I've got to leave space for my elastic to go through. So I'm going to press my casing in place, stitch it in place, and then I'm going to attach my sleeves to the rest of the dress. Now, when you do your casing, don't forget to leave an opening to run your elastic through. Just saying, I've done it. Okay, so I have my sleeve, my casing sewed in place. I'm ready to attach it to the dress body. Okay, so I'm pinning the armholes in place, and if I'm lucky, they match up. Yay! If they didn't match up, I would trim or fudge it. It'd be okay. Just because I'm French seaming mine does not mean you need to French seam yours. I like to French seam. I don't know what it is about it. I really like it. And in this case, since I came here on holiday and I did not want to have, I didn't want to carry a serger, so this technique really, really worked for me. So having knowing how to French seam allowed me to travel without a lot of bulk. I had a fair amount of bulk, but not a lot of bulk. Now once more, I'm going to trim, turn inside out and stitch one more time, and then I'm going to make the biggest casing of my life. Okay, it's casing time. The sleeve is attached to the dress. Oh, it's gonna be a big casing. All right, we'll see. Now, casing is in. It's not much to look at now. It's time to add the elastic, and we'll see what we have. But I am going out there to string my elastic and have a float or two. All right, come along.